Hello, this is Sunny. I'm here in upstate New York at the 21st Annual Rabbi Marshall Meyer Social Justice Retreat put on by the Interfaith Center of New York, who are good friends of ours. It's been a really interesting couple of days here at the Stony Point Retreat Center with a bunch of religious and faith leaders, clergy, community members from different faith traditions, basically coming together to talk about social justice issues. They do this every year. This is my first time here. I believe Umar, the executive director of the Sikh Coalition, was here last year. This year's topic is about immigration and immigration reform and immigrants' rights, which are issues that are all really important to us at the Sikh Coalition and important to the Sikh community at large. And it's been a really interesting couple of days of conversation about these issues. What our responsibilities are as faith leaders, as people of faith from different backgrounds, whether we're Sikh, Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu. It's a really diverse group of people here, all talking about our responsibility as people of faith, really our moral responsibility to stand up for social justice and fight for immigrant rights and justice. So you'll see a little bit of what we've been up to here in this clip.
What I think we have is a theological emergency, a spiritual emergency, a cultural emergency. I'm speaking only on behalf of my own religious tradition, which is Christianity. I will say that the kind of things we just heard about come directly out of disrespect for fundamental Christian tenets. I'm not trying to argue that these are the only tenets. I have a feeling that there are many people in this room who could speak on behalf of their own theologies quite well. But the main tenet of Christianity is Jesus telling us to love our neighbor as we love ourselves. By implication, we don't lock up our neighbor, we don't criminalize our neighbor, we don't insult our neighbor because they've had a global catastrophe that has run them out of their home and into undocumented status. In fact, instead of hostility and criminalization, these are the very people whom Jesus told us we were to love the most.
This national campaign includes labor unions. The two big labor unions on the national scene are both on board saying that we support this year. There are business groups that are in favor of immigration reform happening this year. Faith communities are stepping up big this year and really coming to the table to push for immigration reform this year. Immigrant communities, African American communities,
in terms of the immigration system in Scotland, the feeling from this morning and throughout this afternoon is that the problems that you're encountering are actually not dissimilar to the problems in the UK. It feels as if it's a universal issue across all of global communities. And again, within this first context, we focus on asylum seekers, refugees, issues around economic migrants.
Nanak Naam Chardikala Tere Bane Sarvatabala. And what that essentially means is, with the Naam, with the divine energy or power, we all remain together in eternal optimism. We call that Chardikala. It's an important concept, the Sikh Chardikala, eternal optimism, which comes out of a context of being repressed, being oppressed, experiencing great deals of violence, and basically acting in revolution against tyranny. And in that whole process, we have to remain in that Chardikala spirit with eternal optimism. And through that eternal optimism, what are we doing? We're working for Sarvatabala, which means for the welfare of all people. So historically, Sikhs have fought for our own rights to exist. Religious persecution from our inception, persecution in the 80s, very recently in Sikh history in 84, and now we have the post 9/11 context. We've been fighting for our own right to exist, but without ever losing sight of Sarvatabala. It's actually for the greater good of all of humanity. It's not just about us. And I think that's absolutely crucial for why we're all here today, that Sarvatabala spirit. It's not just about us. It's about everyone.